Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my May 2022 book haul part 2. So these are all the books I bought through the month, mostly online. My book haul part 1 went up a couple weeks ago. That was from when I went to Pals on my birthday. So these are all the books that I have here, are all the other ones I bought, plus those ones this month. I did a lot of damage this year. Anyway, so you know, hopefully I'll cool it a little better coming into June, but not looking so good so far. Anyway, so I'm going to go through these. I kind of have them put into groups. And we'll just kind of go through them. And if you see anything you think I should read sooner rather than later, make sure you let me know in the comments, because I'm going to need help. And that one is, that's Cooper. Anyway, so the first one I got is Ginormous. And this is the Brontes, Wild Genius on the Moors, The Story of a Literary Family by Juliet Barker. I have been looking at this since last year. I think a whole group of people read it with Kate Howe last year. I think it was last year. I don't know. I've been looking at this for a while and I've wanted to read it, and I finally just bought it. I am really close to finishing all the Bronte novels. I'm in the middle of one of Charlotte Bronte's books right now, and I have one more of her one of her other novels to finish, and then I am done with all the Bronte sisters, all their novels. I didn't read the poetry by Emily, or any of them, but all the novels I'll have done. And then I can feel like I can read a book on them and learn more about them. I've always been curious about this book since I saw it, and I really wanted to pick it up. It's definitely one I won't pick up like all the time. It'd be like here and there because the book is so huge, but we'll see. I am looking forward to that. I picked up Islands of Abandonment, Life in the Post-Human Landscape by Carl Flynn. So this one I've been staring at for a while, and I waited for it to come out in paperback. This has to do with places where people have abandoned, like ghost towns, and areas that are too damaged by maybe radiation, like Chernobyl and other things that people have had to leave and stuff. And I think they explore all those, like a lot of different places, and what happens after we're gone, and what kind of damage did it wreak by having things left there and stuff, I'm thinking. I don't know. Anyway, it sounds really cool, and I'm looking forward to reading that. I also picked up A Writer's Diary by Virginia Woolf. These are her diary entries on her that pertain to her writing. Virginia Woolf is one of those authors where I've liked a few of her books and I've not liked a few of her other books, but I find her personally very fascinating, and as a writer I would like to read more of her views on things. I have read letters from her to Vita Sackville-Wetch, which is again another reason why I'm interested in Virginia Woolf. So I kind of want to see what she has in here. She again is one of those fascinations that I would like to read a little bit more on her, and I would like it from, you know, her words. So I just think that'd be interesting. And then my last nonfiction is Winter Pasture, One Woman's Journey with China's Kazaa Herders by Li Juan. So this is about a woman, I think, who takes time off for some reason, I don't know, and she helps a group of people, I think in China. I mean, I think she's from China, but I meant they go to put their animals to pasture for the winter, and it's I think there's sheep and cattle and camels. And I think she goes on this journey through the landscape, and I think it talks about that. I don't know. I saw this a while ago, and I've been kind of looking at it, and I finally just picked it up used. Then I have, let's see here, let's go, I'll do this first. I have one mystery. I've been trying to get back into mysteries, and I keep buying them, but I'm not reading them, but I keep hoping one of these I'm going to pick up. And this was one that I saw recently, or maybe it was probably a later book I saw somebody talking about, but A Quiet Life in the Country, a Lady Hardcastle mystery by T.E. Kinsley. Yeah. So, this has to do with, I think it's a historical, yeah, so it's 1908, and she's retired to the country, and she's kind of mysterious in herself. And I think someone gets killed, and her maid is like into martial arts or something. I don't know. It just sounds fascinating. I think it's actually told from her maid's perspective. I'm not positive, but I think that's what I heard. So anyway, it sounds like a cool, cozy mystery. Again, I don't read a lot of cozy mysteries, but every once in a while, this one's been calling to me, and maybe it's the cover. I don't know, but I think it's because the maid can do martial arts in 1908. But anyway, we'll see. If you guys have read that, let me know. I have a couple of historical fictions. A Bookshop in Algiers by Arthur Adiming. I don't know. I'm not sure I said that right. This was translated from the French by Chris Andrews. So this is following a bookshop that was opened in 1936 by one man, and kind of politically things that were going on in that time period. And then decades later, we have a young man who is sent to, I think, to close it forever. And I think he's going through all the stuff that's left in the store, and then kind of learns about what happens. So anyway, it's really short, but it's something I actually had this one. This is one of 3 pre-orders for this month. And I just wanted this, but I wanted it in paperback. So in my library didn't have it. So I just bought it. Another historical fiction was The Many Lives and Secret Sorrows of Josephine B. by Sandra Goland. So I think this is the first in a trilogy on Josephine, who was married to Napoleon. So I think this starts during the French Revolution, and then kind of when she's younger, when she's a girl, and then I think when she meets Napoleon and what goes on with that. So I don't know. I don't know a lot about that. I do want to read like a Napoleon biography at some point, but for some reason this book has been on my wish list for quite a while, and I finally just picked it up used. I don't know. We'll see. I guess you could call this historical. I don't know. It's The Gospel of Loki by Joanne M. Harris. The Epic Story of the Trickster God. So as I said, I've had some books about Loki, just kind of pops up in them. I mean, again, The Witch's Heart by Guinevere Gornichek. That is her name, isn't it? It's something Gornichek. I think my brain just shut down, and I've moved the book, so I'm rereading it. Anyway, there's certain books that have popped up about Loki, or in characters in it, and I thought it'd be interesting to read one that's, I think, from his, I don't know, it's from his point of view, but it's mostly focused on him. Anyway, so I don't know. I just bought this really pretty shiny cover. Has anybody read this? Let me know if that's good. I don't know. And then I have some romances. They're all kind of different ones. I bought Roderick by Katie Robert because this is the second book in the Sabine Valley series. She has put this one on hold, so there's only going to be 2 for probably a really long time. But I thought I might as well buy it, so if I feel like finally reading the first one, I could read this one too. These are lightly connected to the Wicked Villain series. You have some characters that cross over, or who had been in this area. So they talk about some of the things that happened in these first 2 books in the Wicked Villains series. So it's kind of interesting. These are actually based off of the 7 Brides for 7 Brothers kind of storyline. But again, this is very much like mafia gangster kind of taking over this area. The brothers come back from being exiled, I think, at some point, and they come back and pretty much take over. And I think this is, again, these are very highly erotic and stuff. They're just fun. Anyway, so I'm hoping to get to these at some point. I don't need to get to them super fast because, again, the series is on hold. But anyway, I picked it up just to have it because I like her. Another one of my pre-orders this month was Kiss Hard by Nalini Singh. This is the book 4 in the Hard Play series. So these are following a family in New Zealand. Most of them have played rugby at some point, and some of them have been pretty big stars. This is actually the youngest. I believe he's the youngest of the family, and he is now on a rugby team. So he's the one who's playing professionally. And I don't know how he meets the love interest, but she's a Paralympian, and so I'm not sure what she does. But I think this is one of those ones where they don't like each other for some reason, but they have to fake date. I think it's something like that. Anyway, so I don't read a lot of contemporary romance at all. I've failed at the 2 I've attempted in the last year, but Nalini Singh is one of my favorite authors. This is a series I've read the first 2 books and really enjoyed. I just have this book and the other book, the third book that I haven't read in this series. So at some point I will probably get back into it. It's just not going to be now, but for right now I bought it because it's Nalini Singh, and I bought it because it's Nalini Singh. And then the last of the, that's not in the fantasy genre, is a sci-fi romance. And this is Strange Love by Anne Agrier, I think. So I think this has to do with an alien who is trying to find his mate. And there's like an annual choosing, and he's lost like 4 times, not found anybody. And then somehow he gets connected to a human being who is not, I think the AI messes up. And so this woman from St. Louis gets kind of called to this. And so she doesn't know how she got connected to him. And then I think it's their love story, but I'm not positive. I think there's more books in this series too, actually. But it just sounded funny, and I thought I would give it a shot, because I haven't read a lot of sci-fi romance. I've read a lot of fantasy romance, but not that. So then let's talk about a few books that I bought that are technically rebuys, because I had a bind up of a couple of series that I had to get rid of because they were hurting my hands to hold them for too long. And again, a big nonfiction book, I'll probably set it up and down all the time anyway, but like fantasy or, you know, a fiction book, I'm going to want to read more straight through. And I think some bigger books I'm going to start having trouble with that, because not that I have any trouble right now with my hands, but you never know. I was having trouble when I picked up one last month, and I think I decided to get rid of all the bind-ups that I don't need. So the first one I got was the first book in the Black Jewels series by Anne Bishop. This is Daughter of the Blood. So I had read this one, I think it's 2.5 years ago. I don't know. I read it with Maria at MH Books, and we liked it, but I don't think either of us loved it, but I always meant to continue on. And I think it was just timing of the world. I didn't get back to it. And now it's been too long and I need to reread it. So I just remember this being devastating, and about pretty much a young girl who gets kind of caught up in some politics and some magic that doesn't make sense to me yet, because it didn't. I was like, I don't understand. I hear a lot of people love this when it first came out, you know, like long time ago, and I never picked it up for some reason, and I don't know why. But anyway, so I do want to read this series. I've collected quite a few of the books. I have now I haven't got the first 6 or 7 of the books. I think there's like there's 8 or 9 books in the series. Anyway, I need to stop collecting and just read them. So I'm hoping to get through the first 3 at least for that bind up that I didn't keep, and at least get that far into it and see if I like it. I do want to reread this book again and then continue on. So anyway, I'm hoping to do that soon. And then the other books that I bought because of a bind up are the Dante Valentine novels. So I had, again, a bind up of all 5 books. It was great for the deal for that bind up, but I could not read it. I tried to start the first book, Working for the Devil, in there, and it hurt too much to hold it, even just sitting on the couch. And you have to understand that my cats sit on my lap, and they don't let me put the book in my lap. I have to hold it above them. And then they don't want me to hit them with the book. So it's kind of hard with the bind-ups. That's where I'm having trouble. Anyway, so this is an urban fantasy series that we're following Dante Valentine, who is a necromancer. And I think she is like she's done all in this world, which is an alternate world, she's the one she's gone through all the training, and she has she's registered and all that stuff. So everybody knows who or what she is just by something on her face. I can't recall how it works, but anyway, and she is approached and has to work for the devil in book 1 and to find somebody. And so as I said, I started rereading book 1. I've read book 1 and 2 10 years ago, so I want to finish rereading book 1, reread book 2, and then continue and finish the series. This is one of those series I would like to binge soon, so that's why I bought them off of eBay, the whole series together. And they're really nice. So we got Working for the Devil, Dead Man Rising, yeah. The Devil's Right Hand. My cats are racing around, sorry. Saint City Sinners, and To Hell and Back. So I'm hoping to get to that series soon. Another fantasy romance that I picked up was A Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette. So this is the Kingmaker Chronicles. So I don't know a lot about this one, except that I think it's something about she has the power to I don't know, help someone become a king, or is able to make sure that they, or tell them some truths about being some kind of, you know, soothsayer. So something like that. And I'm not sure quite what that means. And then somebody comes and finds her. She's been in hiding, I think, and he wants her to help his family take over, because I don't think they have magic or something, and there's the magic in the world. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I think it's a trilogy, and it's a fantasy romance. So anyway, I really wanted to try that one, so I picked that up. I got a used copy of Magic Lost, Trouble Found by Lisa Sharon. This is the first book in the Rain Bernards? I don't know how you say her last name series. So I just caught up on the SPI Files series by her and really, really enjoyed that urban fantasy. I believe this is another urban fantasy. I think it's urban fantasy. It's hard to tell. I swear online it said it was more urban fantasy, but maybe it's more of like a fantasy, maybe more, but has urban details. I don't know how this works, but she's a sorceress, and but she comes from a line of murder or smugglers and thieves, and I think she finds herself, I think her friend does something, and then she gets kind of caught up in what's going on. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway, I want to read another book of hers in another series to see if I want to read more of her books, and I think it's like a 10-book series. I also picked up Blood of an Exile by Brian Naslund. This is the first book in the Dragons of Terra series. I think it's a trilogy, and I think the last book just came out. But I saw this on a couple of the, you know, fantasy channels. I don't know if anybody has read them yet. I just know that they collected the series. I like the UK covers better, so I bought it from Blackwell's. Anyway, and this has to do with a guy who was a dragon slayer. He was like revered, and something happened, and now I think he's doomed for some reason. Then the king gives him another chance, and he has to go kill a foreign emperor or something to make up for whatever happened. I don't know, but I don't know. It might be a little grimdark. I don't actually know on this one. It's hard to tell, and I'm not sure because I haven't read a lot of grimdark myself. It just sounded cool, and I really, really like this cover. It was May, so I was just buying what I want to buy. I also picked up Mordu by Alex, is it Phoebe? I'm not sure how you say that. Fate? I don't know how you say that. So this is a fantasy where I think the god is dead. His corpse is hidden in the catacombs beneath Mordu. And I think it has to do with a boy who is, I think, becomes like the apprentice or works for somebody, the master, who is somehow in charge of the body of the god. I'm not sure. And things happen. I don't know. This is, again, one of those books that I've seen since it came out. I've just been attracted to it. So, oh, there's a cool little mouse on it. I didn't even see that. The rat's on the, or rat, and then on the back too. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is one of those, like, I just took a chance on it because it was my birthday month, and I just bought it. So, oh well, I did. It's here. And then my last pre-order of the month was Tiger's Daughter by Jennifer Ashley. This is book 14 in the Shifters Unbound series. So this is one of those series where I've read, I've read about 7 or 8 books. I think it's 7. Sorry. I've read, and this is an urban, paranormal romance series, urban fantasy kind of thing. But we jump books, and we jump a couple places. They go to different places. I know they're in Texas, and I know that they go to Las Vegas, and I think one of the Carolinas, I think later, which is the book that I need to read next, because that's where I stopped. But this one has to do with characters that we've met throughout the series. So I don't know a lot, except I know kind of where this is going because I know who Tiger is from the other books, because one of the other books is Tiger. So again, it's a great urban fantasy, just a fun, or, you know, it's paranormal romance. It's just fun. It's not the best series, but it's, again, I love Jennifer Ashley's writing and I like her characters. And I've read, as I said, I've read quite a few novels, but I'm way behind. But I got it as pre-ordered because I just want to make sure she keeps writing them. So this is a series, though, I'm really looking into continuing my binge of, because I did 2 years ago binge back up to book 6, I believe. So I was almost close to being back to exactly where I'd last read, but I was a couple books behind. So if I could, because I read all the novellas in between, there's quite a few in this series. So I was hoping to get to that and then continue on the series and read the books I haven't read yet, but I stopped. So I want to pick that back up and pick up from where I started my reread 2 years ago and continue on. And then I bought a book. I'm not quite sure why I did. It's Heaven Official's Blessing, and Mo Xiang Tong. I don't know, is that Sue? Anyway, so this is, I'm not even sure what this is considered. And this, it looks so pretty that I bought it. I admit it. It's translated, oh, did I miss a translation in there? I might have. By Suki Ka. I don't know who that is. Anyway, so this is, I'm not even sure what language this is. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I just know that it's really pretty looking. And I know it has to do with, what do I want to say? It was some guy was, or a prince was like really well known, like for his strength, his beauty, and his purity. And then at some point, you know, he falls and he is sent to the world below. And then 800 years later, I think he has attained godhood, I guess for the 3rd time. So I'm not sure what this, but he has to like repay his debts or something. And then he meets another young man who I think is supposed to help him. I'm not sure. Has anybody read this? I don't know. This was definitely one of those cover by. I don't usually cover by. Like, let's be honest. They're just, all these are just so pretty. And I don't know really what I'm getting into. So, anyway, has anybody read those? I know there's a whole couple of series of that kind of stuff. And I don't even know. I'd have to look more into it. I don't know now where they come from, like what country. And I just realized that. I don't. And then the last book is The Helm of Midnight by Marina Lawsetter. This is the first book in the 5 Penalties series. I think it's a trilogy, but I'm not positive. This one is definitely one of those mashups between a murder mystery, I think kind of horror and fantasy. I know we're following some people who are trying to find a serial killer, and somehow it's connected to a set or a piece of armor that was worn by a serial killer, and then somehow the ghost of that serial killer is somehow infecting somebody else to cause havoc. I don't know. I just know that I read the first chapter when this first came out. I got it from the library. I just didn't have time at the time to read the whole novel, and I read the first chapter. I was really interested, but I just couldn't pick it up at that time. I was in the middle of too many other books. So I put it on my wish list, and I waited and waited, and I finally just this month I went, okay, it's my birthday, I get to buy it. So I just did. So anyway, hopefully I'll get to that fairly soon. So that is all the books that I bought in May. Way too many. A lot of them used, all of them online. Just a lot going on. So is there anything here that you think I should read sooner rather than later? Let me know. I just need some direction. I have bought a lot of books recently. This year I am buying way too much, and I don't know if it's just due to my mental health, due to job changes and stuff like that. I don't know, but I bought way too many. June, I'm trying to hold off, but I'm not doing so good. So we'll see if I can curb myself for the rest of the month. We'll find out. So anyway, have you guys bought anything good in May? Let me know, and I will. And do you buy like just anything and everything on your birthday month? Let me know that I'm not alone. Okay? And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.